This is the weekly weather with Maxina and April, where no matter the forecast, it's always sunshine and snow.
Hello, my friend. All right, shall we pray?
Yes.
All right, I'll do the praying for us. I think you prayed us up a couple times, so I'm probably due for it. Awesome Father, thank you for this beautiful day, and thank you for beautiful friendships and all the seasons that we get to experience them. Please bless this conversation. Please let it go where it goes. Have fun with it how you will, and hopefully we'll glean something from it, and so will our storm riders. And bless every one of them. And in Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
You know, it's funny. We don't even try to do that. And yet we both sigh at the same time. And it's a good, deep, cleansing sigh.
It is. You're right. We do that almost every time, don't we? We sit down and we...
I'm telling you, the energy and the vibe is just different. It's better, I think, in my opinion.
I agree.
Video chat, it serves the purpose. It gets us through in a pinch. But yeah, I couldn't do that regularly.
I know, yeah.
Besides the fact that we can't trust technology to stay connected.
That was our second time with that attempt, and it sort of
it did the
flipped
same
out.
thing. Yeah. It just...
That's just for explanation and clarification. Y'all will see in episode 19 where April has pieced together some recaps of our previous conversations. And one of those conversations is our last week's conversation when I was up in Maryland doing some traveling. And it cut off again. There was a previous conversation that we had tried on another week that never even saw the light of day.
Because there was so little to be gleaned from it.
Yeah.
Because it was such a bad connection. But yeah, it was just too funny. I was like, it was 57 minutes of recording. And only 9 of it had you. The rest of it is me talking to myself because I saw you and I heard you. So I had no idea that it had disconnected. And
so
I was blown away when I went to edit and went, wait, where's Max?
And you just looking like a crazy person going, yeah.
Uh-huh.
Oh, wow. Yeah. That is, oh my gosh. So how much of this is the curious part that I am like picturing in my head. After that 9 minutes, did you fast forward through to see next? Did you look through all of your conversation? Did you sit there and watch 15 minutes of you talking to yourself?
Because the software, thank God, it has the line of conversation.
Oh, okay.
And you are yellow, and I am
That's
purple.
Right. Okay.
And so I went, wait, what happened? And then I look and I confirm there's no more yellow for the remaining 45 minutes. I skimmed through the print.
Mm-hmm.
Nope, that's all me. There is. It didn't pick up any you. And
Well, it turns out the forecast for that week was just snow.
There was a peak of sunshine and a whole lot of snow. But nothing that I said really made sense because most of what I said was in response to something that you said. So it really just sounds out of place. So I was like, I can't even snip this to... Well, maybe later in the future, maybe I can, but it really just feels out of place. Like there was no...
Yeah.
Why did you say that? Like
nothing to gain from it.
It was a hot mess. It was a hot mess.
Your patience has been extraordinary in producing the show. So, but you're doing such a great job.
Well, thank you.
You show up week after week.
I met a gentleman today at my day job. I mentioned offhanded because he was like, the we went to what's called a cattle call. A bunch of people go to bid on the same job, right? So we're all showed up. And he's like, did you see that it's listed for 2 days? And I said, well, my impression was that second day was if anybody reached out and they weren't able to make the 21st, they would make themselves available for the 22nd. Or if for some reason things went awry today and we didn't finish all of the sites, then we would have the availability for the next day. He was like, oh, because I was thinking I might stay the night. And I went, I'm not staying the night. I've got podcasts to record. So then later, he's like, podcast? I used to have a podcast. Blah, blah, blah. He went to school for podcasting. And I was like, yeah, nah. School of hard knocks for me. That's the way I do it.
Yep.
I just said, I want to do this thing. And I'm going to figure it out.
And we're going to do it. And we're ride or die enough to do just that. All right, let's dive in. So, yeah, that's great. That's good.
It's been a fun journey. But yeah, so he was like, so what's your podcast about? And I was like, well, this is what it's called. And I said, it's women encouraging women. And he went, oh, I guess I couldn't be a guest on your show then. And I was like, well, we don't have a hard, fast rule that no, guys can't be.
Right, yeah.
But what would you be bringing to the table, sir?
Oh, right, yeah.
Because that we would need to know.
Yeah, what's your weather, dude? What's your weather?
And I thought about it, and I think the first guy I would like to have as a guest on our show would be Carl.
That makes sense to me.
Because I would love for him to talk about his microgreens and how that
well, that's y'all's business.
Right.
So to me, that
because
would be...
we've talked about it so much.
Yes.
And it builds community, which is the whole point of what we're doing, is building our community. We're encouraging our community. So if we let a guy in, I think he should be the first.
He's the one. Well, and that makes sense. Like to me, that would be the episode where I'm sort of doing interview style to y'all the way that you did for me on my book.
Ooh, okay.
That's what makes sense to me, is that I get to talk to y'all about how you conduct, and if there's an event or something that y'all have, we can center it around that, and that makes sense for him to come on and say, promote something y'all have going on, either a special thing or a season of sale or whatever. That to me seems like the right season to have him on. So maybe we can put that in our back pockets and decide what's
maybe
what
even
on that.
August, just before market reopens in September.
Okay. All right. Yeah. We'll put it on there. Put the bug in his ear.
Because the downtown Lakeland Market closes for the month of August and then reopens in September. But
yeah. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So we'll definitely put that in our little back pocket and think about what to do with that. We can plan it and what goes around that. I need to get some pet grass from you.
Oh, yes.
I keep meaning to ask you to bring some on Thursdays, but I keep forgetting. They really just enjoyed that stuff. And I have a little mug that I want to put it in to keep the weight, because they were dragging that thing all over the porch. They go to town on it. They really do enjoy it.
Fun, Mom. Thank you.
Yes. And I saw some the other day at like another store that was not your brand. And I was like, I'm not buying that. I'm going to buy from a friend.
That's right.
So, other than the show, we just did a lot of like kind of behind the scenes chat there. We haven't done that a whole lot. How's the weather with you?
Interesting. Hot.
Okay.
I feel like the physical weather is mimicking my emotional weather right now. The opportunities this week. Oh, calendar.
Okay. All right. I'm excited.
I'm putting colors on the calendar.
Look at her. She's a professional calendarer.
So the calendar is up there and it's big and it is on the wall so that anybody who comes in, they need to ask a question. Like, hey, what are you doing this week? Look at the calendar. Like, it's right there. Red for doctors, blue for office stuff, green for sales visits that I'm doing because, that's the opportunity to make money.
Yes, ma'am. That's commission.
Personal things are in purple.
Okay.
Hello.
Right. Yeah. That's
what other color would it be? But yeah, so it's kind of cool to see that, like, without having to switch, and because it's in my email, I can click the button. I don't want to leave what I'm doing. And that's always been the holdback.
Yes. Yeah.
And it's like, oh, I have a monitor. I can put it on. I can quickly and easily adjust it. I'm not having to stop what I'm working in.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I think this might work for a little while.
Yeah.
And yeah. So
have you identified certain patterns or imbalances or corrected anything because you were recognizing certain things using your color system?
No.
Okay.
It's only been a week, woman.
Oh, sorry.
This week was.
I'm so proud of you. You're just.
This week was full though, and like I was like, oh, okay, I've got things going on, and then it made it easier to schedule the one appointment with the guy who called in. It's like, oh, I can fit you in right here, and I've got one tomorrow again, and it was like, well, I can do it at this time or that time. What time works for you? And it was very clear. It was right in front of my face. I didn't have to go dig for it. So it's like, okay, I feel good. And I also finally put my art on my office wall.
Good.
It's one of those, I needed somebody to do something, to move a thing, to da-da-da-da-da, and waiting on men. And so the other day, the step stool was handy, and I went, snatch that sucker, and I did what I wanted. And then, so as you walk in, 2 pieces of colorful art of mine are on the wall right behind my head, and it just, it just feels a little better.
It's perfect. Now, and you say of yours as in you created them.
So one I created, and the other was a gift to me from Carrie.
Okay.
She did it one of those painting with a twist type events, and it's funny because the colors are the same. It's as though we had the same palette. We did not do that out intentionally, but cool. When she gifted it to me, I went, oh, that'll match the painting I have at work, and so now I have 2. And
you'll send me a picture.
They're hung up with the Velcro command strips.
Oh, okay.
Because I have 2 more sets of paintings that are under, they're stored away. So in the fall, leaves come up that I painted, both of them. And then in October, I have the midnight sky with the moon and bats. And so but it's 2.
It's a great idea with the Velcro and the stuff.
And so I switched those out. But
yay!
So my office just feels a little more like me now.
Yay!
I'm settling into my brain. It just, it's
things feel a little more manageable.
But at the same time, pressure, because the one I saw Tuesday, I had to get him his quote the very next day. The one I see tomorrow afternoon, I'm going to have to get his quote right away because he's wanting to move rather quickly. The one that we saw today has deadlines for questions and then for turning in the bid. So it's going to be very pressure, which is the heat.
Yes.
The heat is on.
Yes.
I have to prove. And yeah, so it's going to be interesting to see how we manage. My one warehouse got caught up. The team finally got together, got their brains where they needed to be, and I don't know, things happened. And good. So the report today while I was out was, I got it all caught up except for the 4 that came in today. Yes.
Good.
That's what I needed. Thank you. And so, yeah.
I am sensing a little bit of a lighter side in your spirit right now compared to a few weeks ago. You were really there was a lot on your plate, I think, and so
I don't know that
y'all were like burning the candle at both ends type of thing.
I don't know that anything has actually come off the plate, but there's been a shift in, hey, just move that over for right now and eat this and it'll be fine. Just and I don't know, and sometimes you just go through an awakening. Like your brain goes, thank you for getting enough rest today.
Yes. Like, gee, that's convenient.
I can think again. I can move forward with process. It's funny how when you're tired, it's all very foggy.
It is. Yes, absolutely. Yes. I've struggled with insomnia for years and bad sleep. Some of it pain oriented, some of it, emotionally driven, whatever, mental health, whatever. But the difference between when I get sleep regularly versus when I have a season of a bunch of insomnia episodes is just I feel like a completely different person. I feel like I'm smarter and kinder, and my skin glows differently. I mean, it's a complete. You're so different when you sleep well.
When they say you need your beauty rest, I firmly believe that is your internal beauty.
Yes, yeah.
It is not just like this external. However, even the external benefits from it because, like you said, you get a little extra glow going on, but you're kinder.
Yes.
When you are too tired, everything grates. It's like every nerve is on the surface, and someone just looks at you and they've touched every nerve. Don't even look my direction because your energy is touching my nerves. Don't do that.
Don't breathe in my space.
And it is so wild to experience that.
Yes.
Especially some people physically experience that in a way that other people don't, and they don't understand. But those of us who experience it is physical. You are too close. Your energy is now touching my energy, and I am not in a space to be able to accept that because I am exhausted. My nerves are raw. You looked at me funny, and I will cry now. And not for any reason except that the nerves and the energy is so on edge.
Yes.
And it's so hard to explain to people who don't experience that on a regular basis because they're just like, you're just crazy. And it's like, no, that's not what it is.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and maybe too, also that for me, it's like I'm also crazy, but there's also this thing here going on that
you don't talk about my friend like that.
Oh, thank you. Thanks for defending me, pal.
Yeah, always.
I love you, sis. But no, I definitely it reminds me of I had a friend who I went a while without seeing her, and then I saw her again, and her and it was her skin, honestly, was one of the biggest things, but she was just like brighter, and she was like smiling. Like, I was like, did you get it on a new medication, or what's going on, and she's like, yes, and I've been able to sleep. And she's like, I tell you, I have never ever slept so good in my life. And she just looked like a totally different woman. Totally different woman.
That's so crazy.
Yeah.
Just finding a doctor who's going to hear you.
Yeah.
And help you find the thing to experience that. Because, sleep, it is precious.
It's beautiful, precious sleep. Do you hear, storm riders? Get your sleep, okay? Get your sleep. Don't cut out on your sleep. It's not worth it. It's not worth it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think too, I think there is a difference between, some people, I think, just don't need as much sleep as others.
Correct.
And
there is a chemistry. You need to know where your
out.
line is.
Yeah.
I don't think I need as much as some people, but I do need good sleep.
Yes.
If I go to bed at 9, that's too early. But 11 is too late. Okay. Because I get up at the same time. The time up does not change.
Right.
But yes. I do notice a difference. It's like 9 o'clock, I'll toss, I'll turn. I'll wake up too early, and then I'm too groggy when I really need to be up, right? But 10 o'clock is just the sweet spot.
It's the Goldilocks hour for you.
It is my sweet spot.
Just right.
And it's go to the bedroom, get ready for the bed. but I don't fall asleep instantly. I don't close my eyes instantly. There's like a 40-minute relaxing once I get to bed, because what is that, right? I can't say good night and go to bed.
Yeah, that's weird. People who can, it's strange.
I have to go
Bizarre.
Brush the teeth,
Yeah.
go to the bathroom, get the fan where it needs. Like, there's all this prepping just to be able to get my head in the pillow.
Yeah.
And now I'm awake because I've done things. And I'm like, I was falling asleep in the chair. I was tired. I am now awake, and I have to get myself back into it. But yeah, 10 o'clock is.
What do you usually do? You read or?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I'll read something, usually on my phone, because it's easy.
Yeah.
And then it goes on the charger, and then I go, okay, now. And it's when my eyes are doing I get that second nod and the phone jerking. Now's
the time.
Now we're ready.
Yeah.
Now we can go to sleep. So I tried to sleep before that. I'll toss, I'll turn. I'm just laying there thinking.
Yes.
And
I'll do that for hours sometimes if I'm not careful. It'll just turn into a nonstop, reel of crap I have done, crap I've got to do, things that I want to do, things that I should have done.
The conversation that you want to have that you haven't had, and you're wondering, should you do it? And if I do it, would it go like this?
Yeah.
But what if it went like this?
Yeah, I'm solving the world's problems right there in the dark in my bed. Isn't it nice?
And instead of sleeping,
I'm just turning and turning and turning. Oh my goodness.
So how is the weather with you?
It is also hot. It's also hot. I have some stuff I'm excited about an upcoming show. I'm another open mic, but I'm a feature this time.
Ooh.
So, and I told you, I know I've told you a little bit about it, but I go to this show about once a month. I've missed a couple of months, especially since they changed the location. But it's a show that I consistently show up to. The other artists that go, they consistently go. And so it's consistently a really great show. And you sort of walk away with a little handful of inspirations, and usually a handshake or two and a new face, who gets to follow you on Instagram afterwards. And so it's a really good time, and it's a really fun, creative space to be in. So I get 20 minutes in front of this crowd, some who are very familiar with a lot of the stuff that I've already read and shared, some who are not quite as familiar. So I decided to make a set I'm going to do a set from my first book, a set from my second book that's coming out soon, and a set of like 4 poems that I've written in the last month. So, like, we call that,
Wonderful.
New shit is what they call that. It's a little thing they do. You go, this one's new, and they all go, new shit, and then they all, snap, and it's a culture thing.
I love it.
I know. And they're all on board with it, They're all excited to hear the new things. So, I've assembled the set. I rehearsed it today, and because I sort of was timing them as I was piecing them together, like, okay, these out of the first book, how long does that take? And these out of the second book, how long does that take? So I pieced them together individually, and then today I just kind of went through the whole show verbally on my back porch. So my neighbors have heard all the poems. So and I feel like it's a really good show. I was over by like a couple of minutes, so I shifted. I removed one longer poem, and I decided to put replace it with a poem from my second book that I felt like needed to be shared because it sort of left out important context regarding my life and the mothers who raised me. So I moved some things around, and I think it's going to be a really good show. I had to cut some things out of the second book that, like, as I was reading them out loud, I was sobbing. And I was like, I'm not doing this to myself or these people. So it was at least easy to cut those out. Like, I'm not just going to sit here and cry in front of everybody at the open mic night. That's not Maxine the Sunshine.
I'm so full of sunshine that it's raining.
I'm so happy. So, yeah, I'm excited, and I pieced together my outfit for it, and so that's kind of fun and exciting. There's still a couple of things that I have to get my ducks in a row for, but I'm excited, but I am feeling the pressure. It is feeling a little bit like, okay, all right, I'll be in front of these people for 20 minutes, so it'll be a good show, though, I think. And I'm bringing a little bit of a small crowd with me.
Wonderful.
I'm hoping you'll be there.
I'm definitely going to try.
Okay.
It's just late enough. I think I might be able to swing that.
Okay. My part, I probably won't be on until about 8:30.
Yeah, you say that, and then for whatever reason, so no, I need to plan to be there at 7.
Okay. It's like I'm not taking any chances.
I am not playing that game again.
Oh yes. We've gone on some adventures like that.
I don't like to be late or feel like I'm late or in someone else's way. It's the funniest thing. I was thinking about that on my way to the site surveys today. Mm-hmm. I do not mind being early and waiting for other people. I don't mind at all.
Yeah.
Now, that's me being early and waiting for you to arrive on time. Don't keep me waiting long time past our scheduled time.
Yeah.
Because then I do like
it feels disrespectful.
Right.
Yeah. It feels careless.
I cannot stand the thought that you are there waiting on me. Like, no, like, I cannot inconvenience you like that. And I mean, to the point that it makes me ill sometimes.
Oh, wow.
Because I get unmanageable. Because Carl's more fly by the seat of his pants. And I'm like, we're inconveniencing everybody. Like, no. And working the market, I'm learning to relinquish that a little bit.
Okay.
Because it is what it is.
Yes.
And people are going to have to wait because for all the vendors, like you have a certain amount of time you're allowed to come in and there's a certain way you're supposed to do it. Mm-hmm. But at some point, someone is going to be blocking somebody, either on the way in or the way out. Mm-hmm. And you just can't be in a hurry.
Yeah. You
have to safely do your thing and just do it.
Yeah.
But those first few weeks, I was like, Carl, you're too far out. We gotta get closer. Oh my God, you're not moving fast enough. Oh, it's like, it's okay.
Boy, this is fun.
It's okay. And I'm like,
so glad we're running a business together, wife.
Right? But we made a friend, and she has been fabulous. I will give her a shout out. Her name is Shannon, and she's the owner of Twin Moons down at the market. But hopeful and thoughtful, and now that we're a permanent vendor, we're practically neighbors. Like so, and we both had pulled trailers, and if we show up at the same time, like we kind of we're on top of each other.
Yes.
And she made it fun and okay. And it's like, okay, so you're not mad at us for being in the way right now? And she's like, no, because we'll be in the way tomorrow or next week, so it's okay. And it's like, okay, I'm learning to breathe. It's okay.
So then, is that what it is? You just kind of have this like angry version of the person in your head that they're just like so sick of the fact that they have to wait on you. And maybe it's because
there's been enough people who have just been absolutely rude,
not nice to you,
right? Yeah. And so it's like, and I can't. And well, from childhood,
yes, yeah,
always needed to anticipate the need and make sure that it was handled so that there was not a request, there was not an ask, and nobody was inconvenienced. And it is a hard thing to change.
To unlearn, yes, yeah.
Sometimes it is a benefit, but then sometimes it really, like, No,
Yes.
you can wait like everybody else.
Yes.
It's going to be okay.
One of the things that I think helped me, because I was always I had an issue for a very long time, as with ADHD people tend to do, with time, like not showing up on time at all. And the habit broke. Fortunately, most of the time I'm pretty well on time now. But during that time, I learned how you come into the room and you just say, thank you for waiting for me, or thank you for your patience, versus coming into the room and saying, I'm sorry I'm late. And first, that response, just changing my response to the other person, thank you, having gratitude toward them, helped me feel less pressure about making them wait. You know what I mean? Because then it was just like an act of camaraderie rather than this thing that I was inconveniencing them with. But I hear you on the childhood thing, because there were certain things like, so for many years, phone calls, like I would get physically ill making phone calls or reaching out to people or anything like that. Part of it was there was somebody in my life I would call sometimes, and somebody you're supposed to call regularly and have a conversation with regularly, and I would get things like, your timing sucks, or like I was spoken to like me calling was the inconvenience. And so I sort of learned through that people don't want to hear from me. And that was the attitude that I had for a very long time, was nobody really actually wants to hear from me. And that was a really hard season. I wrote letters that I never sent, that I still have them tucked away in places here at the house, because I wrote them at a time where I wanted to tell people I loved them and I was grateful for them, but I didn't feel like they wanted to hear from me. So it's so detrimental how we treat children, and they carry it forward into adulthood. And there's stuff we don't even realize that we do to each other, and how deep that wound goes.
I'm not good on the phone, because I'm not good with small talk. I will call you when I have something to say, or I need your advice. Like there's purpose to this call.
Yes, ma'am.
And then that's it. That's all I needed. The what you doing? What's up?
Yeah, I don't. You're just. I'm not good at that either.
I don't know what to do with that, and I'm not sure where that started. But I do know that I hate the sound of a ringing phone, and I think that comes from all of the years in customer service, because we had to answer that phone. That when I got home, I muted the phone. I did not want to hear it. I loved the period of time when your cable and your phone were all connected, and so the caller ID was on the TV screen, because I didn't hear the phone ring, and it would pop up, and it's, oh, I do need to talk to that person, or I'm not talking to that person. And there was a season when the church that I was at, we had to, I was part of the phone chain. And so whenever there was an event or something was going on at the church, hey, you call this portion of the list and you call this portion of the list. And I would just be like, please let it be an answer machine. Please let it be an answer machine. Please let it be an answer. Because I just wanted to say why I was calling.
Yes.
And move right along. And unfortunately, that sort of has slid over into my day job. Originally, I was the main person who answered the phone. But it was, thank you for calling. How may I direct your call? You're not calling to talk to me. How can I direct your call? Just tell me the person's name or the department. That's all. Nope, I didn't want to hear any of those words. I just needed the person's name.
Mm-hmm.
I just want a switchboard. That's it. Boop, boop, boop. That's all I'm going to do. No, I have to learn patience.
Yeah, because people like me call and I'm like, well, so this is my situation and I don't know where I need to be directed.
Now, I don't mind. I actually don't mind when they start off with, I have no idea.
Good, yeah.
Because I have no idea, it tells me, don't try to continue doing what you're doing. Because literally, I'm doing my work.
Yes.
Thank you for calling. How can I direct your call? One moment, and that's what I want to do, right? Boop, boop, boop. I just got to get that name, push the button, and I am right back at it, right? I have not stopped my train of thought.
Right.
So, blah, 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 blah. What are you, huh?
Now there's a man in the middle of the tracks
What?
where your train was going just fine.
And it's very difficult for me to do that shift midstream, and my face says things that my mouth doesn't, and sometimes it comes out in my breath as well. And it's like, why are you so rude? I wasn't being rude. I was confused. I don't like confusion and rude apparently sound a lot alike. But if you go, I honestly don't know. I go, oh, hold on. And I physically turn away from things. I'm no longer, and I am now, my attention is on you, and I will help you solve your mystery because I love a good mystery.
Right, yeah, you're problem solver extraordinaire.
What may I help you solve? How can I help you determine who you're supposed to talk to?
Mm-hmm.
But when you just start word vomiting into the phone, what?
Yeah, like slow down, hold on.
I missed all of the first words that you said, and what? Now I have learned to repeat. All right, let me just make sure that I've caught what you were saying. Is this what you said? Oh, no. Oh, okay. Okay, now I know who you need to talk to. But I'm getting better at it. God, the fact that I'm still learning how to do that. But the amount of people who don't know how to use a phone, and they just start blah, 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 blah.
Word vomiting. Yes, yeah.
That's not how
this works. Yeah.
Leaving voicemails.
Like, what?
The amount of times I have had to rewind. What are they saying?
What does that even mean?
They're not being clear, or they speak very slowly for the whole message until they get to, and you can call me back at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Huh?
Suddenly they find the gas pedal when you need the information to be slow.
What did you?
That is hilarious. Yeah. I was up until then. It was like kind of like the Eeyore.
I was falling asleep. I lost track of who, what. But yeah, and then
like, okay, all right.
I have no idea what that was.
Literally the equivalent of I'm gonna go around this guy, and then suddenly they go the speed that you need them to go. We're like, really? Now you pick now to go the speed limit.
I had someone tell us one time that when you are giving your phone number, draw it with your finger and say it at that pace.
Gotcha.
Because if you say it faster, they're not writing it down.
Mm-hmm.
They're missing it. So write it with your finger as you say it, and that way they'll get. And the amount of people I've had go, oh, you said that so clearly.
Like, yep.
I practice. Because now
and you're good at your job when you practice things and get better at it.
First time I say it paced, then I'll repeat it faster so that, and because in my brain you've now written it and now you're just double checking it because it's already written. You're not struggling to write as you know. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it's funny.
Very well done. Very well done. I like that. Yeah, I'm not so well, and I had a really great phone experience with my sister the other day because her and I are not, talk every day type of people. Our mothers weren't check in on us type of people. Right. So I never really developed that. There's nobody in my life that I call every single day. And in fact, checking in weekly with somebody is new. Right. Our phone conversation while I was up there was like, oh, I just have to intentionally talk to somebody while I'm away, so, but anyway, she called me. I don't remember if she had originally had a purpose or she was just telling me giving me updates about something going on with the babies. And we ended up, we just chilled on the phone for, I don't know, an hour or so. And she even called me back at one point in time. And there were a couple of times we were just listening to each other breathe on the phone. And I'm like, this is weird. But that's what people actually do.
Right.
When they talk all the time. Like, they just hang out on the phone. And I think part of one of the reasons, along with the, your timing sucks, responses that I would get before, is also like my hearing. And like, and I don't know if it's, I don't know if we've talked about this on the show before.
Processing delay.
Right. Like I'm processing or whatever, the noises and the voices. So there are some times when just getting the information over the phone isn't like, it's not computing. Like I'm not hearing it right, or it doesn't, there's too much going on. But it was like she was just in her quiet space and I was just in my quiet space. So I didn't really have any of that going on. And it was just a really pleasant conversation. And I thought, gosh, I really enjoyed being on the phone for that long, just hanging out.
Was it a video call or just a regular?
It was just voice. It was just voice. Because sometimes we do video. But...
I've noticed that like my kiddo is almost always on a video call.
Mm.
And her and her friends will just hang out.
Yeah.
On the phone.
Yeah.
For hours. She'll leave them in her bedroom on the phone, come out and talk to me for 10 minutes and be like, oh, Susie's on the phone. I got to go back in there. It's like she just left her friend hanging out in her room alone, but they're doing their thing and she's doing her thing. Right, yeah. They're finding that way to connect.
Yes.
When they can't physically connect.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, well, that is kind of cool.
Yeah.
I find it to be very distracting. Carrie would do that occasionally at work. Like she'd call me and I'd be like, okay, you can talk, but I'm not going to be saying much because I'm working. And she'd be, and I'd be like, oh, hey, that was kind of cool, but she likes a partner for the drive.
Mm-hmm.
She does not like to drive by herself, and so she'll just call to chat while she's driving.
Well, that's good.
So I'm like, as long as you don't mind, I'm going to be working.
Right.
And occasionally I'll just have to be like, you're talking, but I'm now actively ignoring you and talking to somebody else. And then she picks up on it rather quickly because she's a smart kid. And she's like, oh, I'll wait. And then she's like, all right, sounds like you're done. All right, so back to my story. And
so what I was saying, that's good.
But yeah.
That's good. It's interesting how the different... I don't know, just the different habits that people form around connecting with each other.
Right.
And I think that was one of my things that I had to learn. That was the coffee time for me. This is how I'm intentionally... And it was sort of ingrained in me through networking. When I first started my business, I threw myself into a networking group that was a real low threshold of entry. It wasn't like I had to compete for a seat or anything like that.
Right.
So I had the opportunity to just be in the room with people who were doing business and learn from them. And I got to be the idiot in the room, which is really a great treasure. When everybody in the room is smarter than you or knows a lot more than you and you can learn something from everybody, you really walk away with a lot of really great nuggets. Some really terrible ones, but some good ones too. But one of the things that they encouraged was like with networking, you can't just show up to the meeting and say, here I am and this is what I do. Business actually happens over drinks. Business happens over conversation.
Over a meal.
Yes. Transactions can happen quickly, but business is conducted through relationships. And doing that in my business, I recognized how valuable those connections were and how much they stuck versus ones that are, just the one-offs and you shake hands. So when I went into a new fellowship, and the devastation from my previous fellowship and a lot of the relationships that fell apart, relationships that I felt were deeper than what they apparently were. But after recognizing that those relationships weren't deeper because there wasn't that individual connection, I was like, well, I don't really want that in this fellowship. So when I came to a new church, and there's still relationships with my other fellowship. I have dinner with them every week and go to night worship with them once a week if I can make it. But so there's good solid relationships intact. But with this fellowship, I came in and I thought, okay, if I have the opportunity to connect with my sisters or connect with people here, I'm going to do it in the business way like that. It's, the true like breaking bread together. And that was one of the things that I really enjoyed about coming into the new fellowship was that was an attitude that they were already trying to cultivate and bring. And I'm sure they had it years before, but as you know, the church was going through a really tumultuous time at the time that we came in, and it was in the middle of COVID and a bunch of people were gone. And then, the whole society was just kind of hostile. So it was, there was a lot that connecting over drinks was just so key and instrumental in how I could make a difference in somebody's life. And there was another, at the time, something I was reading. Oh, 3 Cups of Tea. I don't know if you ever read it. Great book. I recommend it. So this man went, Greg went and found himself lost in the snowy mountains in the east and was rescued by some villagers and ended up befriending them. And the villagers in their religious practices, they share cups of tea with each other. They bring you in. Once you've shared 3 cups of tea, it's considered an intimate friend. You're considered like family after you've been over and you've shared 3 cups of tea. So that's why it's called 3 cups of tea. But it's over that 3 cups of tea that he connected with these villagers and learned that the girls didn't have a school. And so he went back after he healed up or whatever, and the whole book is about him getting the supplies and shipping them across the mountains and all the stuff that he went through to build these schools for these girls in this village who weren't getting an education. And it was over being lost in the wilderness and having a cup of tea with some villagers. And it was just this really beautiful story. And I just liked the camaraderie described and the way he goes into somebody else's culture, the way he adapts into it. Yeah, he's a missionary. You're being a missionary right at that point. You're doing as the Romans do, as they say, trying, understand. And you can talk to people that you understand their language. You then speak in their tongue when you're connecting with them because you've taken the time to be intimate in that. So, yeah, definitely highly recommend. I hope you enjoy it. It's a true story.
Okay.
So, yeah, great read.
I think I have heard of it. I just know I haven't read it.
Yeah, it's a good one. That's a good one.
Okay. Greg Mortensen.
Yeah, he's the one who built it. And then the David guy, I think, is the one that he's the writer, the one who brings it into the fruition of making it a book.
Gotcha.
So there is a little bit of a conversation where David's like describing the things that Greg is describing to him. And so it's this, so the book feels like a conversation itself.
Okay.
Yeah. It's really good. And then there was another book.
We're definitely family by now then.
Yeah. Wow. We've had a few cups of tea together for
Minimum
sure.
of 20.
Yeah. Pour your tea, Storm Riders. There's another book, Between Two Chairs, Two Chairs. You might have this one, actually. Hold on. But this one is more like, tea time with God, the putting Jesus in the other chair. Ooh. And that is sort of one of the things that, you've seen my Coffee with Christ artwork. Mm-hmm. That sort of inspired that in that time of, having my Coffee with Christ time, a conversation with Jesus. So yeah, read away if you will.
Okay.
This one I would want back. This one's a borrow. You can keep that one.
Okay.
Because
I think this one looks like it's supposed to be shared.
Yes, yeah. Well, and I have an extra copy of that one because it was given to me by two different people. They were like, "Oh, I think you really need to read this book," and then the other person was like, "Oh, I have this book and it reminded me of you and you need it," and then they gave it to me, and then I was like, "Oh, yeah, I have that one." That's happened to me a couple of times actually. There's a few books that I have multiple copies of because multiple people would gift me the same book because they would see it and they'd be like, "That's a Max book." So.
And you're like, "Yes," for the 5th time.
Right? Yes. That's exactly right. Sort of the same with like nativities. I don't know if you noticed, I've like 30 I have so many nativity scenes. I started collecting them when I was like in my 20s. And my mother was one of those people. My stepmother was one of those people who, like, if you don't say you like something around her, because you'll have 30 of something with that thing on it within a month. I mean, she was just... I
had a friend a long time ago, and her house was decorated with all the little black and white cows. Just so many of them. I was like, "You really like cows, don't you?" And she was like, "Not at all." I went, "What?" And she goes, "I saw a cow that I thought was cute, and I bought a cow." And then somebody went, "Oh, she likes cows." And so they bought me more cows, and then more cows, and then people won't stop buying me cows. It's like, but... And
now you're a collector of something you don't even like.
I'm actually kind of indifferent to them, and I laughed so hard. And I was like, Carl likes elephants, but I don't think he likes elephants as much as people think he likes elephants.
Right, yeah.
And we have so many elephants.
Yes. And I said, "We're playing this wrong. I really like dollar bills, y'all." I love me some dollar bills.
I like $10 bills.
I like $10. Yeah, $10 bills are especially nice. You're right. I'm gonna hang those around the house. I collect money. You want to add to my collection? Clearly I do not.
That is funny.
I lose money. That's what I do.
That is funny because, all right, so
spend it, brother.
Long time ago, long time ago, probably about 20 years ago, Carl comes home with this ring, and it's the perfect size for my pinky, and it spins, and it says "Jesus loves you" on it. It's a cute silver ring. And or does it say "I love you"? I think it says "Jesus loves you." Anyway, so he gifts it to me, and I was like, "Oh my God, that's so cute. That is lovely. Where did you get this?" He was like, "I was thinking about you, and I was thinking how much I would really love to be able to give you a ring or something." I think it says "I love you," not "Jesus loves you," because I love you. And I was just like, "Man, Lord, I really just wish I had a ring I could give her, something to let her know, just something along that line." Like he's just, and then they're on the sidewalk. "What?" I said, "Carl, that's a lovely story. can you start talking to God about the $500 bills that need to be paid? I don't know.
You're like, if you're praying and he's listening,
things are just showing up on the sidewalk.
If you've got an audience with the universe builder, could you put in a word for a couple things?
But it was funny because on more than one occasion, something like that happened. Like there was a specific thought, an item that he was longing for, and
it comes.
It was just there. He wanted a Bible. One time, he told me that he wanted he was like, because he has multiple types of Bibles, and at the time, he didn't have, and this was going on. This is like 29 years ago. This is back in the first year of marriage, so long time ago. He was like, I really want an NIV Bible, and I would really like it to have the gold on the pages and to have the tabs for the different books. And I was like, noted. I will start saving and I will buy him a Bible for his birthday. And then within a week, the restaurant we were working at the time, I was the opening manager. The group of us in the morning happened to all be Christians, so we were listening to the Joy FM. And the morning cruise was across the highway at the mall.
Uh-huh.
And they're like, hey, if anybody want to bring us lunch today or bring us breakfast today, it's just trying to get people to come see them, whatever. So I call them and I go, listen, I can't bring you breakfast, but when you take lunch, if you want to come across the street, this is the restaurant I'm at, come see me. I'm happy to buy your lunch today. So they sure enough did. They came over, and they said, come see us when you're done. When you get off work, we're going to be there until whatever time. And I was like, bet. So I go over and I was like, it was really good to meet you. And they're like, we have a gift for you. And it was an NIV with the gold pages and the tabs. And I went, thank you. Because normally I'd have been like, no.
But you knew that was yours. That was for you. Yes.
I was like, and then I couldn't wait for Carl's birthday. I was like, no, I got to give it to him now.
Yes.
I was giddy. I was like, he came home. I was like, I really should wait till your birthday because it's supposed to be for your birthday. But, and he was like, where'd you get it? And I had to tell him the story but it was just really cool because there's been times when things like that just.
He does. I saw a story I was, scrolling, and a story I came across, this girl had put a chunk of money in her glove box, and it was like a whole year, and she was like, what is this even for, And she ended up, like, giving somebody a ride home from church, and they ended up having a discussion, and the girl was talking about, she didn't know how she was going to pay her rent, and she was short a certain amount. And it was the exact amount that this girl had put in her glove box. But what she had said about it afterwards was really interesting. That a year ago, she was like, that was what she told the girl. She was like, God set this up a year ago for you. And that was the part that really set out, like, in my head. It was like, right. God, not only will he bring you the things, but, like, there's so many things work together for your good. And he proves himself over and over. Like, he proves himself right all the time. He's like, I told you guys that. I don't know why you acting surprised. Right? But it's true. It's like this, because you don't, and it's so impossible, the chess man up there just putting pieces together and making the moves at the right time and putting things together. It's amazing. It's just amazing.
Next thing you know, it's the perfect time, and I have this thing, and
yes.
We have to be more willing to listen,
mm-hmm.
because at any point in that year, that young lady could have gotten a little nudge to spend it at the restaurant, or maybe buy that new handbag that just looked really cute, or whatever, you know. Could have been at any point anything. Yeah. It's really hard to go, no, I was told to just put it there and leave it there. Yeah. Okay.
Being obedient because you trust.
And then a year later, somebody's like, yeah, just exactly this amount.
You're like, actually,
I have that for you. What?
Like, how?
Only thing crazier would have been if she had written the girl's name on it before she knew the girl.
Exactly.
Like,
yes. And I bet you something like that has happened and does happen, because that's the thing too, is just always being able to always hear those types of stories, like when you're a part of the faith, getting to always hear those testimonies is just, it's so mind-blowing. It's so mind-blowing. And those are the ones that, because there's sometimes, like within the Christian walk, and this came up in conversation recently with a girlfriend about how, you know, sometimes your faith is like, you know, there's a honeymoon phase, but then after you've been in the faith a long while, everything sort of is so familiar. You know what? Like the things that new Christians are like, hey, did you hear this thing? This is so cool. And you're like, yeah, I've heard that. You know, it's like, the novelty of it isn't quite, but people's testimonies and like how he shows up for them over and over again, or, you know, this over here, that special circumstance.
Those are very different.
Yes.
For everybody.
Yes.
They're the same and yet very different. And it's like, oh, tell me, how did you do it?
Yeah. How did he do it that time? Like, yeah.
I know he did, but how did he do it?
You gotta tell me. You gotta tell me. Yeah. It's so edifying. It's so great to hear those types of things. I'm so glad that people are out there sharing their experiences with God. Mine, I feel like, so anytime I feel like I want to get up and like say something about something I've experienced, my instinct is just like to share it with the intimate people that I love. My habit of like I've never formed a habit of like going online and saying, let me tell you this interesting thing or this cool thing about God, or this, you know, for some reason. And I've written a poem about this too, about why I think it's called Where's My Boldness? And it talks about how I keep my relationship with God like it's a secret that will no longer be true the moment I say it out loud. And which I know is not correct, but there's just this like sense of intimacy that I guess I fear gets lost when I share it. Like, it's not just this thing between me and God. And I think sometimes too, I've been accused a lot, or maybe feel as though people have perceived me as being prideful in my faith as well. And so I don't like being public about my faith. Right. Because it feels like it's being loud. And I'd rather be quiet and intimate than loud and forget where those experiences really come from, I guess. But I want to be better about it. I was thinking about using TikTok, actually, because that's where the weekly weather is.
There is a balance, because it's a tight walk. Everything in life is such a tight walk, or tight rope walk.
It is.
Because just one step this way and you're in boastful, prideful, showy, and one step that way and you're hiding it under the bushel.
Yes.
And it's like, no, there's the balance. I know as a kid we used to hear, you may be the only Jesus, or you may be the only Bible anybody ever reads. Mm-hmm. You may be the only version of Jesus anybody ever knows. And you want that to be your public expression. Mm-hmm. But I also don't want to be the guy on the street corner screaming in your face, making a show.
Yeah, being a gong with no love.
Because do you even believe me if I'm standing on the street corner just being loud?
Yeah.
But if my actions on the regular are of this way, and then you're like, hey, what's different about you? Why do you do that? Why do you do this? Oh, well, I've got a relationship with Jesus, and that he's the one I want to be like, and so I try to be like him. Well, that's not the Jesus I've ever heard about. Ooh, well, let me introduce you to my Jesus.
Yeah.
Happy to tell you.
I'll tell you all about him. Changes my life every day.
We had Carl was having a conversation with someone one time, and he was very anti-church. And Carl was like, "Tell me more about that." And he was like, "Yeah, and Godhood, this and whatever." And he was like, "Oh, yeah, I don't like that God either.
Yeah.
That God, I wouldn't want to follow that God. That's bad." It's like, but let me tell you about the God I follow.
Yeah.
This is who he is. And that person went, okay, let me put that in my pocket. And then slowly you see this change in that person. And that person is seeking, and that person ends up in the church and now has his own relationship that is not based on this weird theory of a God that somebody had presented to him at some point. That was just very hurtful. And we've got to be very careful with that, because we can think that we're just sharing the gospel and actually be pushing people very far away.
Yes.
And it's tightrope.
It really is. It really is. And I think that distinction about people's impression, who people know God to be, what they understand his character to be, it's such a central point of the conversation. And also who we are in light of the God that we serve. And if you're serving a God because you believe that he's vengeful and is going to be unhappy if you don't, that's a very different spirit from wanting to be obedient because you have absolute full trust in the thing that you're being obedient to.
Right.
Like the sheep doesn't go off hunting for its own because it doesn't believe that the shepherd is going to feed it. The sheep stays because it's confident, and when you're introduced to the true character of God, who he is, where he comes from, what he's done, that there was a plan the whole time, even in the sticky parts of the scriptures, and him begging his people to stop doing the crap they were doing and being willing to forgive them completely and utterly with no whatever, and flourish them the moment that they turn back to him. Like those types of things, it's like, oh, okay, I want to serve. That's what I want to serve. That's who I want to obey. That's who is worth my obedience. I'm not even worth my own obedience. I'm not consistent. I'm not very smart. I don't know the big picture. I'm so limited, and I know that of every person around me. Like, I've never trusted any man so much that I'm like, oh, you're totally competent, and I trust everything that you say. I don't. It's one of the reasons I don't go to therapy. What, I'm going to surrender my brain to a stranger? Ugh. No. But the trust that I have in Jesus, in the scriptures, because every time I would test it, it produced the fruit it said it would produce, and doing that over and over and over again. You're like, yeah, I'm a sheep returning to my shepherd because he's so good to me. He's so good to me. And that's a completely different heart of obedience. A completely different heart.
Obedience is good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And that's another, it's like, oh, you're just being a slave. You're being manipulated. And I'm like, well, or I'm just being obedient.
Yeah. Or I'm a I'm a spoilt slave. I don't know what to tell you. I've got gold earrings, I've got gold bracelets, and I've got a good place I'm going, and I've got a great master. So yes, I am absolutely I have the best situation a slave could ever have. Why would I want to go anywhere? What else am I gonna serve?
Right.
My lust, dear God, been there, done that. No thanks.
Oh.
What else am I gonna serve?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Childhood nonsense.
Seriously. Yeah. There's so many.
Because we have to go through that. We go through that period of we know better.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Let's test our wings.
Yeah.
And he's so patient with us, and he's like, "It's okay. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Do your thing. Let me know when you're done."
Yep. Yeah. That's exactly right.
I'm waiting.
When you're done spending your inheritance, come back and I'll have more for you.
Oh, we just did that in Sunday school. Ooh. Oh.
Which Sunday school?
Third through fifth grade. No. Third through fifth
the babies.
Grade.
Okay.
Yes. Okay. It's so fun. It's so fun to watch their little brains. Because it's like, what is this story about? Is this story about the kid who ran away and took his money and blew it? Is the story about the dad who was overjoyed that he came back to the point he wanted to throw him a party?
Mm-hmm.
Or is it about
the jealous brother?
The jealous brother.
Yeah. Who
because
says, I've been here the whole time. I served you the whole time.
Like,
I've had that attitude too.
Why didn't you just ask?
Yeah.
And because we were reading it, and of course it follows right behind the Pharisees are like over here. Why is he sitting down with the politicians and the taxpayers? And so having this, like, bring it down to third and fifth grade level, third through fifth grade level, and just, so why do you think they were upset? Like, what do you think was going on through their mind? And and so, and now the next thing it talks about is, the sheep and the shepherd. He leaves the 99 to go find the one. And when the one is found, they all rejoice. And when a woman loses her coin, she calls everybody, they turn on the lights, and they look for the coin. And when they find it, they rejoice together. So, why are the religious leaders mad? Because he's gathering the ones. Yeah. They're the ones. Yeah. You're a one, and you're a one, and he's gathering the ones. Why are we not happy?
Right. Well, and that, so I can imagine the conversation in the children's room. Where it puts me is that conversation, and he's saying it over and over again in the New Testament scriptures, where he's going and basically telling the religious leaders that their kingdom is about to be taken from them. That the old order of things and their job that they were assigned to do, they've been doing it badly, and the keys are going to a new place, essentially. And I was reading something today about this parallel between Caiaphas, the high priest of the Jewish religious leaders, and Peter, that Jesus calls, the rock. And that they part of what they say, the keys of the church, that's the Catholic belief, that the keys, but Caiaphas is a word that means, the name means rock, but like an empty one, like a hollow one.
Ooh.
And Peter means rock. And so there's this parallel between Caiaphas and Peter and the role of the high religious leaders that Jesus is saying, and that's who they are. They're the brother. Like, why are you, he's eating down, he's sitting down with the sinner. Why are you doing this? They're the bad people. They've gone. Why are you? Don't give them our inheritance. That's supposed to be for us. And that was one of the things that the people themselves was protecting, was this high position with God. They were boasting about their high position with God, when the entire time their high position with God was for the purpose of bringing everybody else into a high position with God, not to have a special high position with God. That wasn't the purpose, but that was what they wanted, and that was what they had. And
they got lost along the way.
Yeah, they got lost along the way. And so that conversation about the Father saying, but wait a second, everything I have is already yours. You are a part of this inheritance. Them being a part of the inheritance doesn't make you not a part of the inheritance. So there's no need to be bitter. This whole plan was to bring you both into the fruition of the saving of the world, Jews and Gentiles. Yes, I did it through the Jews, but don't get it twisted. It's not about you. It's not about you. And that conversation over and over and over again. And that's why they're so offended. That's why they hang him. That's why they put him on the cross. How dare you talk against this institution?
It was originally a relationship.
Yes. Yeah.
And they got lost.
Yeah. Yeah. Which it's easy to. It's easy to get pride, proud.
Which, again, it's a tightrope.
It is. Yeah. You're right. We talk about that tightrope quite a bit.
I find it in almost anything.
Yeah.
Almost everything.
It is true. Yeah. Yeah.
And it's like, man.
You have to keep strong thighs as a Christian. A pure heart and strong thighs. We talked about the armor of God. We're protected with the heart, but also them race thighs, running them race thighs. That's what we got. Oh my goodness, this has been a great conversation.
I think it has. I think it has. Well, my tea is empty.
Mine too. I bottomed up a little bit ago. So
that is a sign that we need to be done.
Yes, ma'am. Well, thank you for coming, and sorry about the warm weather.
It's actually been actually quite comfortable. So
good.
It's all good. Love you.
Love you.
Thank you for joining Maxina Sunshine and April Snow on the Weekly Weather. Like and follow to catch our next conversation.